I was like, you need to get out of my store. Are you kidding me? We don't want flowers when you mess up. We want them because it's Thursday or it's Monday or whatever. Those flowers go way further than you coming home with a, $150 bouquet because you did something stupid.
What's up, everybody? This is Joe Vega, and welcome to another Flower Shop Secret podcast. And today, I'll be speaking with Lisa Elfante from Central Florist in Valley Stream, New York, on how you can use authenticity to build your brand during the pandemic. Let's go. So the big question is this: how can small business owners like us in the floral industry overcome the greed of order gatherers and bypass the deceitful games played by wire services? How do we market, sell, and deliver flowers online so we may break free from these antiquated practices and earn our freedom? Those are some of the questions we will answer on this podcast. I'm Joe Vega. Welcome to Flower Shop Secrets. Watch now on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for new episodes. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
No!
How's it going?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining me today.
Of course. Glad to see you.
Yeah, how's your shop doing? Last time I was there was a year and a half ago.
Is it that long already?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think it was like about a year and a half ago. I went to your shop, and it was a beautiful shop. And I remember your one woman show there, right?
Well, then I wasn't too much of a one woman show. Now I'm a one woman show pretty much.
Okay. So, well, let's start at the beginning. Can you tell me how you got started in the floral industry?
Yeah, sure. I didn't know a rose from a carnation. I was actually in the nail business before this and the jewelry business. I was doing nails on all my children and guiding light for, soap opera stars and Joan Collins and whatever. I was actually going to open up a nail salon, and I had the whole business plan and everything. And a friend of mine came to me and said, I have the best, perfect business for you. And I was like, well, what is it? And he goes, it's a flower shop. And I literally started laughing, crying, laughing, because I kill cactuses. Like, I was like, are you crazy? Like, you know me. If anybody brings me a bouquet of flowers, I get into like hives because I never know what to do with them. No, that's not a good idea, I said to him. He goes, no, she didn't know anything about the business either when she bought it. I'm going to bring you to meet her. So I came with him, and she said to me, I didn't know anything either. I learned from the previous owner. I'm willing to teach you, blah, blah, blah. I said, all right, and I stayed from October on, maybe 3 days a week, learning just the basics. When we closed, February 8th.
Wow.
And she said to me, take $10,000. This is what you need. She gave me a list. Go to so-and-so, tell them that these are the flowers that you need, and you need them for tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And we went, and she promised me she'd be by my side. I never saw her again since that day. And I went to the wholesaler with my list and said, I just bought Central Florist, and this is what I need, and here's your $10,000. So I kept her 2 designers that she had on at the time. And the next day, box after box after box after box. And I'm looking at these boxes going, what the hell is happening right now? 700 million boxes later. And I'm like, what do we have to do here? Anyway, that was February 8th, 2005. And here I am. And
wow,
it's been a ride. I literally knew nothing. I knew nothing. I mean, obviously I knew the difference between a rose and a carnation. I just used that. Mm-hmm. But I knew nothing.
And what did the designers think of you buying the shop, not knowing anything about?
They thought I was crazy, but they were staying on with me. And the store was really, really busy back then. I needed both of them. I had 3 drivers and the 3 designers. One of the designers left. The other 2, I dreaded coming to work every day. I would be like, I don't even want to go in there because it's just that. And she did this and she did that. And I couldn't stand it anymore. So I said, all right, you know what? You, meaning me, myself, Lisa, you have to learn every single bit so you can get rid of them. And ultimately that's what I did. And then I just trained, people, as I learned, like we just learned together, you know, and then I've had designers along the way. Unfortunately, everybody thinks they're a designer. And I mean, you now, all these years later, you see my work. So I'm very particular, and it's got to be perfect. I don't care where the order comes from. It's got to be perfect. I don't care who it's for. And you know, interviewing for a designer is a challenge.
Yeah, it is, especially now, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's something that
But Victoria, I don't know if you met her when you were here, or was it just me?
I think it was just you.
I think so too. So my middle daughter, Victoria, was my right arm for a really, really long time. And when we would be interviewing, one day a girl came in and she had her own knife. And we looked at each other and we were like, ooh, this might be a plus. She has her own knife. And she was really good. So from that moment on, whenever I interview somebody, if they whip out their own knife, I'm like, oh, thank God.
Well, it's the tools of the trade, right? Like that's the number one tool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed a shop from Canada. And you know, she actually, when she started, one of her biggest wins was the person that mentored her retired and gave her the knife that was his personal knife. And I was like, wait, is that like a thing florists do? And she's like, absolutely. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Were you
That's
aware of that?
like an honor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like passing along the baton.
Yeah. Especially if he was in business for so long, you know, like that's like, yeah.
Yeah. So you've been doing this all along. We know how tough it is, especially if you're doing it alone. You have a ton of respect for me for doing that. What's your favorite part about the job?
I'm a people person and I abuse my customers.
You what?
Like I abuse my customers.
Okay. How so?
Oh, it's bad. But you know what? It works. It works. So any florist that's listening to this, take note.
Wait a minute. No, you did tell me a story or two. I remember now that you were talking to your customers. You actually talked some people out of not buying flowers and you gave them relationship advice or something like that, if I remember.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I do. But it comes back. It comes back, you know. My most popular line to my male customers, because, you know, and I don't mean this against you, Joe, or any other men watching it, but you're a bunch of because we don't want flowers when you mess up. We want them because it's Thursday or it's Monday or whatever. Those flowers go way further than you coming home with a, you know, $150 bouquet because you did something stupid.
Right.
Tell them. This is exactly how I'm telling you is how I tell these guys. And a lot of the times I don't know them, but I still talk to them that way. And I say to them all the time, listen to me. I'm an old woman. Okay. And I'm giving you this advice. You want to spend money in my store? By all means, I'll take it. However, take note. Females love flowers just because. And they take it and they do whatever they want with it. And they come back. And they come back sometimes with their tail between their legs, holding their head down because they screwed up again. And I'm like, dude, I just told you last week. Why are you not listening to me? You know? So one guy a couple of weeks ago, he came in and he's always here because he messed up. Always. And he walked in and I said to him, now what did you do? He goes, it's Tuesday. I literally started jumping up and down. I was like, you listened? You didn't do anything stupid? He's like, no, it's Tuesday. I just heard you in my head. It's Tuesday. Get her flowers.
So you literally turn guys down from buying flowers and give them relationship advice.
Yeah.
And what happens is that actually, you know, they end up coming back because you did that. They like, what's their reaction when you tell them not to buy flowers? Like, what are they? Are they confused?
Yeah, they're so confused. So confused. I go, listen, I own the store, and of course I want to take your money, but you need to go fix your relationship with who you are inside, not flowers. And next week, when it's Tuesday or it's Friday or it's raining, whatever, I'll be more than happy to make you a bouquet to bring home to her, and that will go for a very long time.
That's amazing. When do you realize, at what point when you're taking the order, do you realize that they shouldn't be buying flowers?
Right from the beginning.
How do you pick?
Because if a guy comes in and says, a lot of them will come in and say, I need a bouquet because I screwed up. Right off the bat, they'll tell me that. And then, of course, I have to go, crazy on them. If they don't do it voluntarily, I'll ask them, what's the occasion? And there's no occasion. I'm an idiot. I have a customer, and I won't say his name. So he would come in here. This is pre-pandemic, for like a year, every couple of weeks. And he'd be like, help. I'd be like, man, oh man, your wife has a sense of humor. What are you doing? And, I just abuse him. So one day he came in, it was a Thursday, and he's like, all right, I need flowers. I'm like, what'd you do? He's like, nothing. I'm like, hey, thank God you're finally listening to me. He's like, no, not really. I go, what? He goes, well, my buddies are all going to the Yankee game on Saturday, so I need to like butter her up a little bit. So I figured you could help me with that. I was like, you need to get out of my store. Are you kidding me? I have that rapport with my,
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. It's it's that New York. Did you grow up in New York?
Yeah, Long Island, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I grew up in Brooklyn.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, in Greenpoint.
Okay. Oh,
so,
okay.
But I love talking to you. Like, it's just, I feel like I'm
we're
back
just
in my, yeah. I feel like I'm back in my old neighborhood, just talking. Like, what's going on? That's the best way to be, in my opinion.
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, you see the reviews. My reviews all say like how personable I am, and like
Yeah, you do you, which is exactly what you should be.
I do.
Instead of putting on like this front of sounding professional.
Straight from the hip.
Oh yeah. Well, you are. Why? I mean, besides the guys coming back, why do you think your customers keep coming back?
Well, first of all, the product that I put out and how it lasts. We condition. I'm on a lot of Facebook floral pages, and it seems like a big question is, how do you wash your buckets? And I'm just like, what do you mean? Like, what? So I have customers that tell me your flowers lasted 3 weeks. And it's not just because I'm buying great product. The way we're conditioning them and what we do on the inside of our store is really important to that, obviously. So when a bucket is empty in the cooler, that bucket doesn't get reused. It goes into a certain spot, and those buckets all have to get cleaned. And they're all cleaned with bleach, straight up bleach, a little bit of water. Then the fresh flowers can go back into that bucket. But until that, no way. Every Monday, and my cooler is big. The front of the cooler and the back storage part of the cooler, everything gets taken out. It gets bleached down every Monday. Gets bleached down, and then we start, reloading. So besides the quality of the product that I put out and the price point that I try to do my best, to stay real tight, they just love the honesty of me. And I love when a customer is not really sure what they want. Like now I do 2 options. Do you want traditional vase, or do you want something more low, compact, and more fun and modern? And then, 90% of the time they say, you know what, I trust you. They don't even know me, but they just hear it. You know what I'm saying? It's important.
They hear the confidence. They hear your,
right.
like you just said, your personality goes a long way in these moments.
Right. And it's who I am. So it's not like, it's forced. That's who I am.
Right.
Before I forget, I know this is not a question, but I want to tell other florists that are out there. And I've gotten compliments, and people have told me, thanked me a million times over. Funeral consults are obviously a real sad, a sad visit. You see people coming in your door in like a group of 4, it's going to be a funeral consult. And I implemented a long time ago that when a funeral is sitting with me, my goal, not only to make sure that, we're personalizing all their pieces with a favorite color and a favorite flower, but I feel like my job at that moment is to make them laugh at least one time while they're sitting with me, because I want them to get their head off of what they're doing, because it's so hard to pick flowers for your 5-year-old daughter or, 90-year-old father, whichever way it goes. It's just a sad, thing to do. And I stick to it. And most of the time they're laughing throughout the whole entire thing. and hugging me and thanking me for making it so easy. So that's like a really important tip that I would love to pass on to other flower shops.
That's amazing.
Life's too short to be serious.
Right.
And your customers will just love that about it. You know, they're comfortable in here. You know, I have a customer, he'll call me 5 minutes before he's pulling up. Lee, it's Vinny. Get me ready. Dude, well, you think you're my only customer? And that's what, like, I'll say it to him. Well, he'll come. I'll go, wow, thanks for the warning. You gave me 5 minutes today. You think you're my only customer? I'm waiting for you. And he laughs. He's like, you're the best. So, you know, I don't know. I think it's important to be, you know, interactive and not just what's your name? What's your phone number? Where's it going? Okay, I can't. My thing is this. We have so much competition, supermarkets. You know how the competition is. So you need to figure out a way, your niche. This is my niche. What's your niche as a florist and as a business owner that's going to make you stand out from everybody else? And also you have to brand. I mean, I finally, all these years later, maybe 2 years ago, came up with my brand. And I'm so excited. I have to show you, Joe. My daughter, Victoria, just made us Central Florist masks.
Oh, that's great. And advertising and safety at the same time.
So that's my logo and that's my brand. Like, people know, and people have told me, because I wrap in the brown craft paper now, bouquets and raffia. And people tell me all the time, I saw somebody walking and wherever had a bouquet of yours in your hand. How'd you know it was mine? Because it was wrapped in the brown paper with the raffia. I saw it. So it's important. You got to know your niche and build your brand.
I think it's authenticity with you. It's like you're real. Yeah. You know, you're not, you know, people may love what you have to say. People may hate what you have to say, but they will never wonder what you have to say.
No, never.
Right. So it's a level of authenticity that's attractive about that. And that's, people respond to that because, you know, you never know what to believe anymore, especially, you know, whether somebody doesn't care in a flower shop, just, you know, acting robotic, or just simply not interested because they're having that bad day. But, you know, you're just always real. And I think that's an awesome thing to be. So I appreciate it.
Thank you.
And I could relate, by the way.
Yeah, well, maybe people listening that aren't from New York are going to be like, this girl's nuts.
Nah, listen, I sometimes I actually feel way more comfortable talking to flower shops and talking to florists and talking to small business owners, because my dad was a small business owner as well. He had a bodega in Brooklyn, in Greenpoint.
Oh, okay.
I grew up around that. I didn't grow up in corporate America. So to me, I literally feel more comfortable talking to people, small business owners, than I do talking in the corporate level, sort of like putting on this mask. Is just like, whatever, like, it's just not me, you know?
Yeah.
So I know where you're coming from.
Mm-hmm.
So
when I did the nails, I had to be a totally different person because I'm doing Kelly Ripa, Joan Collins, I'm doing their nails. I can't really, from the beginning, I couldn't be who I was. I had to be like prim and proper. And, it took me a while before I was able to let it down. They ultimately ended up loving it, but you don't know.
Right. How has it been? What challenges has COVID presented to your shop?
Well, obviously, like you, sat home for 2.5 months. So did I. And I cried every day. And I prayed every day. And I came across, and people are going to think I'm nuts, but it works. And anybody that wants to get their business to the next level, go on to YouTube to guided sleep meditations. And there's a man, Doushi is his name, or Doxy. And he has a 30-day manifest anything that you want in life. My business has never been better.
Really?
And the other thing that I did also was, I wanted them not to forget about me, even though I gave the store away. So every day I would jump on Valley Stream News for Facebook, and I would put a bouquet up, like an arrangement that I made, whenever ago. And I would go, Hope you're all doing good. I just wanted to send you all some flowers. And every day I would get a little bit creative with my posts, checking in on you guys. How you all doing? You know, I hope everybody's staying safe and whatever. Everybody was like interacting with me. And at some point I was like, I'm going to be okay.
Wow. That's
Mhm.
amazing. I mean, especially at that time when, you know, everyone is confused, scared, you know, that no one knows what's happening. Do you have any other advice for florists? For example, are there any new innovative ways in which florists can build their businesses during this particular time?
You know, it was hard for me in the beginning. It's still kind of a little weird to do live videos. So every week I try every week. It's hard because, you know, I'm busy. I do a drawing for free flowers. So it seems like I'm always giving away free flowers. So anybody who's ordered, let's say this week, is going into the drawing for next week. So what I do is, like that week that I'm going to pull the name, I'll think of like a couple of things that I want to speak to my viewers about. And I don't pull the name until the end of the video. So I keep them there with me. You know, I'll talk about the benefit of plants, how huge plants are right now. I'll, you know, just explain how we're running things now. And, you know, I thank them a million times from the bottom of my heart. And, you know, it's just so, you don't realize how many more people you reach. I would believe that every town has a Facebook for that town. And I would say, get on that. It's so important. You have no idea. I was at the farmer's market a couple of months back.
Right.
And somebody said to me, Lisa, is that you? And I'm looking at her like, who, you know, I don't know who you are. And, you know, of course we have our masks on. And I go, do I know you? She goes, no, you have no idea who I am, but I know you from your videos. Thank you so much. She's like, your videos are awesome. You're awesome. And we started using you. So that would be my main tip for florists out there that are kind of struggling right now. Because I heard a lot of florists are really struggling. Get out there, do your live videos. It's uncomfortable. It's not your comfort zone, but make bullet points. You know, I have bullet points on a piece of paper.
Right.
Think about like what you want to talk to them about. What do you want to educate them on? You want to talk to them about the flower of the month. You want to talk to them about plants. I show them my cooler. You know, my videos are probably like a half an hour long, and I do not do the drawing until the end.
So you do these videos educating customers how to, you know, arrange, take care of the flowers, and you put it on the local Facebook Valley Stream, because you're located in Valley Stream, New York, in Long Island, right?
Right.
You put the video on there, and it's an educational video / entertainment video, right?
Oh yeah, because I'm very entertaining.
We all have to be a little bit entertaining. You know?
Oh, I tell my customers all the time, entertainment's been free.
Yeah. And so how many videos do you have? Do you have a YouTube? Where do you host it? Do you have a YouTube channel, or do you do it live? Like, how does it work?
Well, I do live, and I'm always conflicted. Where should I go with the live? Should I go on my Instagram? Because I built that up. That's a full-time job. Do you know that?
Mm-hmm.
Social media marketing is another full-time job. And I try to post morning, afternoon, and night. And then it gets put on my Central Florist Facebook page. And then I have to copy the verbiage, put it on Valley Stream News's page. Then I copy the verbiage. I put it on Franklin Square, which is our next town over's page. Copy it, put it on Valley Stream Merchants page, and put it on my personal page. I'm done. I'm exhausted. Like the hashtags, you know what it's like, Joe? To do creative hashtags. But I'm proud, and I'm going to pat myself, because I believe that before the pandemic, I might have had like 800 flat followers. And I believe now, I looked before, and I'm at like 1377.
Wow.
So I'm really, you know, generically trying to do it without paying somebody, you know, but it works. So I'm always conflicted. Should I do my live on Instagram? Should I do my live on my Central Florist Facebook? Or should I do my live on Valley Stream News's Facebook?
So they're always live? You never actually record them?
I used to, before I found live. I used to record them. But I like the live better because it's personal. You know, as soon as somebody comes on, I'm like, hey, Joe, how are you? Thanks for coming, you know? Meanwhile, I'm like ready to throw up before I hit the live button because I'm so nervous.
But
You know?
once it's on, right? Like
Yeah.
that's,
And like I said, the florists that are listening, make your bullet points of what you want to cover.
that's really
It's
cool. So,
hard, you know, it's just, you have to just, it's hard to find the time.
right.
You know, there's been times where I went 3 weeks without a video and I'm like, oh my God. And you know what? They might not have even noticed, but me consciously, I needed to give away 3 different weeks of flowers. So I told them, I'm sorry, I slacked 3 weeks behind. I'm going to pick 3 names today. You
Well,
know,
people appreciate that though.
yeah, they do. They do.
So how's had your increase in social media presence? How's that helped support your shop?
Oh, it definitely has, because I've gotten so many new customers. A lot of people even told me that they've never been here before, but they heard that I gave flowers away, you know, on March 20th. But they also saw what I was doing every day in Valley Stream's Facebook, you know, sending the flowers, you know, every now and then I would post a picture of what I cooked that day and be like, what did you guys cook today? I just stayed in their faces all the time because I didn't want them to forget. And you know, just being in their faces, they tell me all the time, like, you made sure that we were all still okay.
That's great.
Well, in
So
my last live video, when I was talking about Valentine's Day, I said to the people, I said, you know what, I don't understand, and I really have struggled with this for all of my adult life. Why is Valentine's Day just for females? Why are we the only ones getting gifts? Like, I was never that person. And this is exactly how I was saying it. I was never that person. Whether it was my husband or a boyfriend, I always made sure I got them something. So let's change our mindset this year. Everybody's in a slump. Everybody's a little bit down. So send it to your girlfriend, send it to your mom, send it to your husband, your boy. You know, I marketed it, tried to do it that way.
right. Yeah. I don't know why it's that way, but that's the way it is.
Prove it. Why? Makes sense.
Yeah. Lisa, so it looks like you're very innovative, visionary. I wonder what your MBTI is actually. You know what that is? Your Myers-Briggs?
No, what is MBTI?
That's like a personality test. I'll send you a link later. No worries.
Oh, I love it.
But it sounds
Yeah.
like I see a lot of similarities in how we think. So I'm like trying to figure out what kind of personality, what kind of MBTI personality you are. But
When's your birthday?
March 19th.
There's your answer, Joe.
Why? You're a Pisces as well?
I'm March 20th.
Oh, there you go. That's coincidence. The stars, right? That's what it is.
I have a customer, really short, funny story. Customer, he's very into astrology, and he's been a customer since I bought the store. So one day he called me, he goes, Lisa, and he knew, because I went through a long 2008 to probably 3 years ago was a big struggle for me. Like, I probably should have shut the door 3 times on this store, went through a divorce, had my car accident, 3 neck surgeries. Like, I went through a lot of stuff. And I always kept trying to change. Like, I got to change who I am. This isn't working or whatever. So he called me one day and he goes, when is your birthday? So I go, March 20th. He starts cracking up. I'm like, is that your birthday? Is that why you're laughing? He goes, no, listen, you're on the cusp of Pisces and Aries. Forget trying to change. You're never going to change. You're always going to be all screwed up like this, because one day you're an Aries and the next day you're a Pisces. So just deal with it.
There you go. So,
but that's funny that your birthday's a day before me, and you just said, like, yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Last question though, like what are 3 fun facts you would love people to know about you?
Well, obviously don't shut up.
Okay.
Fun facts. I don't know. I'm quick to do anything.
Witty.
What?
Witty.
I'm witty, yeah. If my kids were to describe me, they would say, my mother at midnight will say, okay, pack your bags. We're driving to Florida at, 1 a.m. Like, I'm just, spontaneous. Yeah. And I'm a risk taker, obviously.
Yes. Sounds like you're an ENTP. You don't know what that means. I'll tell you that later.
I can't wait.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining me today. This has been fun.
Thank you.
It's been way too long. We have to talk more often. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, great. Thanks, Joe.
All right, Lisa. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
We want to help your business bloom. Check out more episodes of Flower Shop Secrets. Watch now on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell for new episodes.